Hello, my name is Ahmad and thank you for watching this video. In the next set of videos, I will try to cover one of the most powerful technologies and software in data protections. I do not want to sound cliche, but it is one of the most powerful in enterprise in today's business. It's been available for the last 2 decades, if not more. Actually, it is more, but I'm just saying. But until today, it's one of the top leaders. If you see the charts from the well-known organizations, we are going to cover NetBackup as a solution which was provided by Veritas, which is now due to recent merge or acquisition which happened from Cohesity, is now part of Cohesity. I always like to know about the history of any product, why and how they've been created. So if you just do a simple search in Google, you will come to this Wikipedia, and it will explain when the actual company was created and what was the reason behind it. So the idea which the company was created at the beginning was a shoebox building blocks, which they wanted to provide some sort of fault-tolerant computers. But later on, they purchased OpenVision, which they took them to the backup business, and that's back in 1997. Until later on, when they merged with the Semantic, and then again they merged from the Semantic, so they became Veritas Technologies, and then later on they merged again with the Cohesity. So right now there is no more Veritas Technologies. It's a NetBackup, which is part of Cohesity. All right, so now that we know about the history of NetBackup, let's cover the product itself. Why you need data protections? So simply, if I want to say it, because of the digital business which we are inside it, inside the digital business or inside the digital world which we are, there is no actual money, but there is data. So based on that value of the data, you will need somehow to do the data protections and do the recovery. So you will need backup to do the recovery or to minimize your downtime, or if you think about as a compliance way, you need to have some sort of retention to keep some data for a specific period of time, and of course to reduce your costs, because without the backup you have to do everything from zero. I know you have already maybe heard about RPO and RTO, but I thought I will just mention it again here. So again, with data protections, it comes something called RPO, which is for recovery point object, and RTO, recovery time object. Now, if you see the traditional backup, which is over here, you will see that it will take time to do the recovery. At the same time, later on, I mean, if the more we go toward the left, you will see that the recovery point objective is expanding and is getting longer, or the data that which you will lose will be more, and the more you come toward the center, which it could, let's say the outage has happened, the RPO will be less. That means you will lose less data. On the right side, you have RTO, which is recovery time. Again, if we go toward the right, the RTO or the recovery time will be less, it will be more, and the more we come closer to the center, which is the outage, the RTO will be less. and the cost will be opposite. So the more you come to the center, the cost will be higher. So if you want something, let's say a protections at the seconds, there is something called synchronous replications. If you want in minutes, you can do asynchronous replications, like a snapshot asynchronous replications, which normally companies provide. If you want in hours, we have something called snapshot technologies. And in days will be backups. So recovery point, it's the how much time you will recovery point objective. It's how much data you can afford to lose. And recovery time objective, it's how much time it will take to restore to that particular time. So again, for recovery time, if you want a fast one, you can do, let's say, in clustering, which you have a cluster in different sites. One side goes down, the other side will be up, which will be up in seconds. In minutes, you have a snapshot technologies. Hours, you have bare metal source, and days, you have standard restore. So NetBackup components, if I want to speak about it, we will have three major components in NetBackup. We will have primary server, media servers, and clients. So primary server will be the mind of the NetBackup. All the policies creation, deletion will be happen on the primary server. Primary server will manage the resources of the media server or media servers if you have more than one, and it does tracks the backup data. So primary server by itself has a couple of components. One of them, or the main one of them, are NetBackup database. Okay, which holds the information about the of the backup and the images, their locations. It will save as a metadata. So basically, the primary service, or the master server, which you will hear me that I'm calling primary server, master server. They both refer to the same component. But primary server actually saves the data inside the database. The data which is related to the images, where are they located, how much is the size of them. So those information will be required because in case if you want to search for those, if you want to do restorations. So through the database, it will fetch those informations. The media server, which is the second component, it's actually the doer. I mean, the primary server, for example, will tell the media server, go to the client and take this backup. Or it will tell the media server, duplicate the data to the tape. Now, you might hear about duplication and replications. We will speak about this later on. But that's the role of the media server. So media server writes the data to the client or from clients, and writes the data to other media servers or other type of medias like tapes, or to the cloud, let's say. And the client is the host which has some data to be backed up, or we want to restore some data to that particular client. This could be a Unix server, Linux, AIX. It could be Windows. It could be a database, that be SQL, Oracle, MySQL, Postgres, SAP HANA, or it could be a hypervisor as a VMware. When we talk about the VMware, it does not allow you to restore the hypervisor itself, but the virtual machine on top of the hypervisor. So when you have a Hyper-V or VMware, Nutanix, you will be able to restore the virtual machine on top of them. Obviously, if you have Hyper-V, you might install the NetBackup agent on top of the Hyper-V server itself and do a bare metal of that server. But generally, you don't take backup of the hypervisor because it will be easier to just do a reinstallation of it. And it will be much more cleaner as well, in case you have some ransomware attacks, let's say. Okay, so the architecture of the NetBackup, we have two famous architecture. First of all, we have something called NetBackup domains. Each domain will have one master server, one active master server. You might have one passive, but there is always one master server which is up and running, and it will communicate the data to that one. So we have something called a NetBackup server, which we will do in our environment. So NetBackup server domain means primary server and media server. It's actually one entity. And as I said, the roles over here will be different, but both of the roles will be handled by one particular server. And then we have something called NetBackup enterprise server. That means the primary server or the master server. It's different entity than the media server. So they are on two different entities or servers. Other than that, everything is same. And when you are in the organizations that you have the firewall and securities, then you have to, of course, do the whitelisting or do the firewall which is required between the primary and server and the master server, and then again between them and the clients. But if you have a NetBackup server and you are small organizations and you want to do whitelisting, it will be from one IP, one entity to the clients. So even the firewall rules will be less. But again, this is just for the organizations which have really, really small workload. If your workload it's large or big, then definitely you have to go with the NetBackup enterprise servers. We will come to know about the limitations which you might face with the primary and media servers, and how much memory and CPU is required in the later videos. So as you can see here, I have site A, which is domain A, and then site B, which is domain B. So on my site A, I have primary server, I have my media server, and I have the clients. Likewise, on site B, I have a primary server, and I have media server, and I have some clients here. There is one more component in NetBackup, which is called OpCenter, which is now obsolete and it's no longer available. The latest release for it was 10.0.0.1. Right now on NetBackup we are on 11.2. So this OpCenter is no longer available. But instead of OpCenter, there is a new component or new reporter, which is called NITA, NetBackup IT Analytic. So the job of OpCenter, or which is available right now, NITA, is just to do the reporting. At least the free version does only the reporting. You will be able to manage jobs from it if you go for the advanced version of it. But the main part of it will be for the reporting. Obviously, if again I will just rephrase what I said. If you pay for the advanced version, you'll be able to manage both of this master server's jobs from one location. So NITA, which I just mentioned over there, can provide you a lot of reporting. It's not only for the NetBackup, it could be for other backup software, such as Veeam, Quicity, Commvault, and so on. And for the virtualizations, it can provide you reporting as well. Same for the fabrics, if you have some fabrics inside your organizations, and the capacity. Obviously, for the extra features, you have to pay for it. But if you have a license of the NetBackup, the foundation will be delivered to you or will be provided to you as a free of cost, at least till today, which I'm speaking to you guys. Okay, that's it. So this is just you can say introductions to the NetBackup. In the next video, we will speak about how to prepare our environment for installation of the NetBackup. So in the next video, we will speak about how to prepare our environment for a new installation of NetBackup. Thank you.